Los Angeles, the city of angels. From its white sand beaches to its majestic vistas and Hollywood, it embodies the California dream. But it's also the gang capital of the world, a refuge for more than 150,000 gangbangers. 3 miles northeast of downtown lies Highland Park, one of the oldest areas in the city. This predominantly Hispanic hood is bordered by Eagle Rock, Cypress Park, the 110 freeway, and Glassell Park. Its rolling hills and tranquil family-style homes hide the area's violence. Los Avenidas, the Avenues. 800 strong, they are the barrio's largest gang. They take their name from the numbered avenues that intersect Highland Park's main thoroughfare, Figueroa Street. Their turf stretches nearly 6 square miles. The avenue's secretive ways and violent nature. They take their name from the numbered avenues that intersect Highland Park's main thoroughfare, Figueroa Street. Their turf stretches nearly 6 square miles. The avenue's secretive ways and violent nature have wreaked havoc on their enemies, innocent citizens, even their own members. The gang is responsible for more than 100 murders in the last 2 decades alone.
The LAPD's Northeast Division had one of the highest crime rates in the city.
Fiercely competitive but lucrative drug trade. The gang has an advantage in building its empire. Their maze-like territory is the key to their success.
A lot of the streets there in that area and avenues lend themselves to narcotics dealing because they're dead-end streets.
The avenues protect their business from rival gangs like Cypress Park and the Border Brothers by any means necessary.
You know, someone comes in, you gotta do what you gotta do, whether it's gang members, whether it's somebody making a wrong turn, you gotta take care of business.
While their drug business provides funding, the gang is more known for its secretive and violent nature. Their specialties include brutal home invasions, robberies, and carjackings.
There's a lot of activity going on all 24 hours. Anything illegal, we had our hands in it. Whether it was somebody doing fake credit cards, chipping phones, anything illegal.
The Avenue's hardcore gangsters are idols for many kids.
Those were our role models. Those were the ones that used to run the neighborhood back in those days. Those are the ones that used to do all the shootings. Those are the ones that did all the crazy stuff. You know? Very respected on it. And I said, why can't I do that? We were going through alleys and shooting dudes from Highland Park, shooting dudes from Cypress Park, you know, throwing cocktails to people's houses. It was just like, thing to do.
The lifestyle gave Sleepy purpose. He became a loyal soldier, embracing the gang's violent and secretive culture.
Gangbanging was better than drugs. There was no better rush than that. The avenues were the love of my life. It didn't matter what time you called me, I'd be there. Avenues comes first. That's who we were.
The world JR and Sleepy joined was a bloody brotherhood with only 2 ways to the top.
You can make them some money, you're gonna move up quick. If you're a good murderer, kill people for them, you're gonna move up quick. Basically, make money or kill people. That's how you move up fast.
Even innocent bystanders can fall prey to Los Avenidas. In 1998, the Avenues joined the Hispanic gangs in LA in declaring a race war on African Americans. Their goal was to reduce Highland Park's black population.
There's 500 Hispanic gang operating in Los Angeles.
But the Avenues were one of the ones in particular that took this hate message to heart and then began attacking African Americans on the street.
The Avenues went on a killing spree, callously murdering 3 black men who were in their neighborhood.
The Avenues felt so comfortable in their own community, they didn't wait for the cover of darkness to commit some of their crimes. They did it in broad daylight.
You come into Avenues territory, which has always been our stronghold. When it ensues, it's violence. You know, people are gonna get murdered. Oh, why sugarcoat, you know? There's one, whether he's selling drugs or not, just he's black.
The bloodshed was fueled not only by racial hatred, but by the battle for lucrative drug turf. This former LAPD detective asked to have his identity altered.
If something happens and you're stranded there, you may have a problem. They're gonna walk up to you, they're gonna ask you who you are, where you're from, what you're doing. As far as they're concerned, you're a threat.
September 17th, 1995, 2 a.m. 25-year-old Timothy Stone left a barbecue in Glassell Park with his girlfriend, her brother, and 2 children. They started towards their Cypress Park home. While driving, Stone tried to take a shortcut and turned onto a narrow, winding road that came to a dead end. Locals knew the street as the Avenue of the Assassins. As Stone neared the dead end, he found 20 Avenues who just happened to be waiting to ambush a rival.
There was a Cypress Park gang. Previous that day had been driving through there shooting at the guys. So they were out there with their guns, waiting just in case they came back.
Stone tried to turn around, only to find himself trapped. Gang members blocked his exit with garbage cans and other debris. In a panic, Stone accelerated through the barricade as the Avenues opened fire.
No matter what time of day it is, somebody's on a mission out there driving around to find somebody to kill. That's just business.
Los Angeles. A sprawling city of nearly 4 million, filled with expressways, palm trees, and strip malls. It's also home to one of the city's most violent street gangs, the Avenues.
They put fear into the neighborhood, fear into the youngsters. They demand respect, so they get it.
That respect is well earned. The Avenues have been representing in LA for more than half a century. Their origins trace to the 1940s Zoot Suit era. The gang started when local Hispanic youth formed a club to protect themselves. They were mostly peaceful until the 1960s, when heroin flooded the streets. The Avenues became part of the lucrative drug trade and grew increasingly violent.
As they grew up, and they started going to juvenile hall, going to county jail, going to prison. They graduated to a higher level of criminal activity and started to develop that commitment to the gang and the business of the gang.
The gang's older members began returning from the Vietnam War. They came back with deadly skills and unique insight into America's booming illegal drug trade. The Avenues began putting that knowledge to use when a rival gang, Cypress Park, formed nearby in 1969. The 2 gangs went to war over lucrative drug turf as narcotic sales exploded. They turned even more deadly in the 1980s when crack hit the streets.
AKs came in, the AR-15s. As the 80s progressed, it was gangbanging. Shootings were everyday occurrence.
JR was raised by a single mom on Division Street, the heart of the Avenues territory.
They were known as tough guys, nobody messed with them. That was the intriguing part of it.
He was exposed to the reality of gang life on the playground.
Our neighbor's father, who was a gang member, took us to a park, and they were playing football. And a rival gang, Cypress Park, came by and shot off the freeway and shot into the football game. 2 guys ended up getting killed.
To protect themselves, JR and his boys decided to form their own gang. They developed ruthless reputations.
We were called the Insane Ones. We were known for fighting.
It wasn't long before the Avenues noticed.
They approached us and said, hey, it's the Avenues, either join us or break up. We did the smart thing and joined.
The Avenues were at war with rival gangs Highland Park and Cypress Park. The gang was known to cross into enemy turf to provoke a fight, and JR was eager to be a part of it.
We'd walk or we'd drive through there, looking for rival gang members. On any given day, you could find them hanging out in these alleys, and that's how you got one. If you really wanted to find them, just come walk down this alley, and they'd come out. It'd be a shootout. You needed to have a gun. If you were in the neighborhood, you needed to pack a gun. That was known to. If rival came, shoot at them. I knew if they had how to turn it up a notch when it came time to.
The Avenues membership was growing and numbered 500 by the mid-80s. The gang had become a legacy for some families. Sleepy, one of 7 brothers and sisters, grew up in Glassell Park, a gang stronghold in northeast LA. He was 9 years old when his older brother, an Avenue, was shot by a rival gang member.
I seen an ambulance parked down the street. And I was like, the hell? I knew whose house it was at. That was my brother's girlfriend's house. I said, what happened? What's going on? Your brother just got shot.
Sleepy's immediate thought was for revenge.
I lost it. I just lost it. I just ran, yelling out, you avenues.
Sleepy's brother survived, but a year later was shot and wounded a second time. He cheated death again, but Sleepy couldn't let it go. He committed to the Avenues for life.
Yeah, it's worth 10 dimes to live for this neighborhood, and it's worth it to me. You know, that's my brother, and I can't let him go out like that by himself.
His brother made sure it wasn't a traditional jump-in.
Well, he beat us up for, I'd say, about a good minute. I mean, just beat us up. Like, we're getting beat up by something, you know, that we didn't even know. And then he got a BB gun. Hey, I'll never forget this. He goes, this is what it's gonna feel like almost when you guys get shot. So right there, he shot us. I was like, well, that hurt me, you know, it really did.
It didn't take long for the reality of gang life to take hold. In 1984, while driving his car through the neighborhood, Sleepy threw out the Avenue sign to a group of rivals standing on a street corner.
I see those guys, and I started throwing hate at them, you know. I didn't think they were gonna get in the car and chase me.
Moments later, he stopped at a red light, only to find he was blocked in by 3 other cars.
So all I remember is this guy coming out, you know, from the window, from the passenger. And he goes, Cypress Park. You know, I'm like, well, Cypress Park. This is the Avenues, man. He started shooting at me. So I just put my hand over my head, I went like this, and I went down. I even felt the bullet in my hand, but that hit me in the head.